Well, Edwina Arorash, welcome to the program. And how are you today?
I'm fine, and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
We are delighted to have you to do a little interview. Being an avid runner over the years, um, we want to highlight you because, I've known you for a long time and I've known you to be, a participant in the May 24th. Not, and even though you may not have come first, but starting from the starting line and finishing, that's an achievement in itself. And to me, that you're victorious. And so, from what I know, about you is that you have competed in May 24th. This year, 2022, is going to be your 40th time competing. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong, Larry. This will be my 40th time doing May 24th. And
Wow.
I actually gave up on a Germany trip because it was around May 24th, and there's no way I'm going to be off island for May 24th. This race is very important to me. So I love this race and its history, and it brings back memories because I always had families that did it way back before women had started. And my cousin Arthur Gugib Lambert, that was my cousin. Yeah, and he was always first, but I was never first, but I was always consistent, because
Wow.
I loved the sport. And then I had an
Interesting.
uncle too, Leah Arorash. So I just always wanted to keep it in the family. So that's why I always wanted to run. So it's so important to me. Yeah, this
Interesting.
race is
You
very special.
educated me. Arthur Googlip Lambert is your uncle,
No, it's not my uncle. He's my cousin on
your
my daddy's
cousin.
side. Yeah, and my uncle Leah, that was my daddy's brother. Yeah,
So
and
so your
my uncle Leah, yeah, he ran a couple of times.
so
Yeah,
your
so that's why I wanted.
inspiration,
Pardon?
your inspiration as far as 24th of May was established early in your career or in your youth.
Yeah. Well, see, I always used to watch them run. And then, was one year Marinette Bean ran. And I was so impressed because I never knew a woman could run that long. So it gave me
1976.
inspirations to run. I said, well, maybe I could really, join this and keep on doing it. So I started out training. I had two coaches, Eugene Tatum, and then I had Wayne Martin. Those two was training me. And Eugene Tatum was supposed to run out with me for the first race that I did. And he got caught up with everybody else and ran out faster than them, and he never finished. So I ended up finishing.
He was overly enthusiastic, eh?
Yeah, he got so excited, caught up with the crowd, and he ran and left me, down by Burnt House Hill. He cramped all up, so he never finished.
What year was that?
I think that was probably 1981 or 82.
And how many
Yeah.
times was that the first time you ran?
No,
1981, 82?
1979, I ran. I was on my own training. And, until I got, the two coaches. And then I ran into Swan's Running Club, and then they was training me and Mac as well.
Right. So
Yeah.
stop right there. So 1979 was your first experience running the full distance of May
Yes. And I
24.
only ran 8 miles. So I wasn't even sure if I was going to finish it. But if
Oh,
it
you'd
wasn't
only done
for,
8 miles in training.
yeah, 8 miles in training was all I
Okay.
done. So I wasn't sure if I was going to finish or not. But if it weren't for my brother-in-law at the time, he rode his bike beside me all the way and coached me to finish. And I was so shocked that I finished. And I said, "Oh my God, I actually finished!" And
So
then I, been running ever since.
so you ran 5 miles plus further than you'd ever run before.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, interesting. So let's just go back to 1979. Prior to 1979, you said that your uncle Arthur Lambert had been participating, and also another relative. What were in so back to your primary school, high school days? Were you athletic? Did you do running? What sports did you participate in? Just trying to get
Well,
a synopsis of
like
prior
in
to me.
primary
Like,
school, I did some running, little races. And then when I went to high school, I did cross country. And that's
okay,
when I knew I could run, but it was hard. And at the time, right, when you run, I didn't know you could get better because it was so hard.
Okay. What was hard
You
about it?
kept
Tell
doing
me.
it, you get
What, the
better.
heels?
Pardon?
What was hard about it?
Oh, the heels. I still have problems
Okay.
with heels today. As long as I've been running, I've always had problems with heels. I think it probably could be because of my breathing.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I was
primary
never good
school,
at
high school.
heels.
Oh, interesting. So high school, you knew within yourself, you now knew, hey, you could. So
Yeah.
what, from that point, did you read books? How did you educate yourself in terms of getting maybe some training methods, under
Well,
your belt?
I mostly read some books, and I guess we didn't have online then, so it was mostly books. And it got me into running and running properly. And I know Kevin Smith was the one that really taught me how to run properly,
Right.
with your arms straight up and not across
Right.
your chest, because
This
that
is
sort of like
after,
cuts off the oxygen.
but this is after 1979.
Oh yeah, that was
Right.
after
So
when I was running, because he was training us with the Swans Running Club.
right at that time. So
Yeah.
so I just want to capitalize just prior to 1979, your first May 24th, and you build up to that. So you'd been doing some training, you'd been reading books, you said you was running on your own.
Mhm.
So then why you didn't run in 1978? Why was 1979 pivotal
Because
for you?
78, I was training for it. I just didn't want to get up and run it.
Okay, were there other
Because I think
races?
that was the first year they had the women run it.
Okay,
Yeah, so I said, well, I don't want to go out there because I never ran at all then. So I was like that year in training. So I only got up to 8 miles.
right.
And I didn't think I was going to finish, but I did, thanks to my brother-in-law at the time. He stuck with me.
Yes. And did they have water stops on the way back in that race? Do you recall?
Yeah, they did. But see, I came here so late, they probably didn't think I was going to finish. There was no water on.
So you anyhow,
then,
but
everything wasn't great like it is now. Even when
Right.
it came to the running attire, back then you always got chafed up, sneakers, you always had blisters and stuff. But I think they improved on a lot of those things, so that made it a lot better,
Right.
for now when it comes to running. Because a lot of
Right.
people's into running now. A lot of people weren't into running back then. So they
Right.
probably figured it wasn't a money-making thing, but it is now. So it's like the business is booming.
Yes, I hear you loud and clear. So
Yeah.
1979, you went to the line only after 8 miles of training, up to 8 miles. It's your longest run. You got assistance, you said, by your relative. And so he coaxed you along the way on his pedal bike. You made it. It made it the total distance. So how you felt? So that gave you a lot of inspiration from that point. So after you made it, 1979, you made it to the finish line. What happened after that experience?
Well, I thought I was going to give it up, but it was the people that kept me going. They gave me a lot of praise because I finished, and I thought it was going to be the opposite, but they really praised me and encouraged me, to do more. Yeah, which was wonderful. And like the crowd keeps me going today. The crowd is really what keeps you going all the time. I praise them for coming out to even watch it.
Yes, awesome.
Yeah.
So 79, your first taste of May 24th, 1980, you show back up to the line.
Right. I didn't do it in 1980.
You skipped.
Did it in 81. And that was the same year my father had passed. He passed around like May 21st. So my mom was saying that she thinks I should still run it, in his honor. Because he would have loved that. So I did it, 81.
In honor of your dad, as a motivation. Yeah. Awesome. And what do you remember about that race compared to your first race? What was different about the two?
Well, that one was a little better because I was more prepared. Yeah.
Such as what?
How did you? And I was still learning, you know.
So you prepared in what way? Well, what was the difference?
Well, I did longer runs and I made sure that I drank a lot of water, you know, and I've learned a lot from this race because I know it was one race I ran without water. And
I made it.
That was a disaster, though, because I ended up in the hospital.
Oh, really? During a race?
I was so dehydrated.
During a May 24th or another race?
No, that was May 24th. Yeah.
Wow. So you've
Yeah.
experienced the
'Cause
lures.
I was supposed to
Wow.
run in a particular time. So I figured that if I don't stop for water, I can make the time.
I see.
Yeah, and it was like an airline ticket on the line. I said, "Oh,
Oh my.
I'm gonna do this. I don't need no water. I can run this race no time." And I think it was up to about 10 miles. I don't know. I can't remember. But then the ambulance came, picked me up, and next thing I know, I was in the hospital with.
Was that 81?
Yeah.
That was 81.
81, maybe 86 or 87.
Okay, years later.
Yeah,
No,
81, I was fine. I was
right.
under no
So
pressure.
now you're becoming more advanced. Your
Yeah,
confidence
yeah,
is
I was
up.
more advanced. Yeah. So I figured I could run without taking in water.
Your time's improving. Your time's improving.
Yeah, time's improving. I said, oh, I could run. Oh no, it didn't work like that.
Wow,
May 24th
awesome.
gave me a lot of experiences. I learned from it. So now, sometimes I get up and I could just run without training now because I've done it so many times and I know
run May 24th specifically without training.
Yeah, May 24th specific, but a marathon, I have to train for that.
Right. But we term May 24th like the marathon derby, but we know it's only half the marathon distance. Yeah. Right.
It was longer before, and then they changed it because remember it was 13.75 or something like that. What was longer than a half. So that's why they called it.
Yeah, it was definitely longer than the metric half marathon distance.
Yeah,
correct.
It was longer. Yeah.
Right. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So you went from 8-mile runner in terms of distance, then you transition into making it the second time 81. Mm-hmm. Your times are now getting faster because, as you said, you're reading more, your training methods. Mm-hmm. But then we make the cardinal sin of no water and dehydrated.
Yeah, it sort of set me back.
and yeah, so that must affect your confidence a bit.
Yeah, it took a lot out of me.
Right. Yeah.
And then afterwards, I caught myself, and I think one in the 90s or even before that, maybe 89, 90. I was at my peak then because I had a lot of energy. So I said, I was testing my body, and I was saying, well, if I could do 24th of May, maybe I could do the parade afterwards.
Right.
So I got into that.
Well, let's leave it right there. And when we pick it up, we're going to break for a brief message. We are talking to Edwina Arorash, and we will pick it up when we come back from this message.
Healthy people and healthy communities.
Keeping active reduces the risks for diabetes, heart disease, arthritis, and stroke. These conditions can limit your lifestyle, but they are preventable. Exercise and a healthy diet are good for all ages, so make them a part of your daily life. Walk more often. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Leave the car at home sometimes. You'll be amazed how easy it is to be more active. Get on the move to a healthier you. This is a message from the Department of Health.
Edwina Arorash, we are talking about you now being a seasoned May 24 participant, your fitness. And so after you finished May 24th, what was your second goal?
Was to do the parade. Yeah, I was testing my body. I said, I got all this energy. I said, let me what else I could do with it. So, when I did the majorettes. Yeah, I had two groups.
Yes.
I remember the other one. I knew it was Southampton Twirlers we had, and the other one was the Hamilton Parish. I can't remember our name.
I remember I used to see you because, like yourself, I also participated in 24th of May. But I remember seeing you in the parade afterwards. I said, gee, Edwina has a ton of energy. So was this something that you did? How many times, like you said, on 89, you had, obviously you learned from that 86 experience with no water. How many times now you think you had under your belt running May 24th by that time? Like 5, 6, 7 times or more?
Probably about 6 or 7, around that time. Yeah, because each year, I learned from it. So it's now I'm really good at it. No, I know what to expect. I could run in the heat. I rather the heat than the cool. I can't run in the cool.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So yeah, so
my body could do the heat. No problem.
and you know that's such an advantage because
Mm.
some people's bodies are the opposite, where
Yeah, and see
they
my body, right? My body, I'm always cold. Yeah,
interesting.
and I'm glad to get to the heat.
So 24th of May, the high humidity, which is always the
Yeah.
case, the temperatures usually
Mhm.
fairly warm. That never impacted you.
No, no. Long as I had water, then I'll be fine. You
Right.
know, like I said, the last time I didn't take in enough water and I got dehydrated.
Right.
But
89, you were saying.
yeah.
So as the year has gone by, so apart from May 24th, getting ready for May 24th, I know there were more races on the racing schedule. So did you participate in them and maybe use them as a tune-up for 24th of May? What was your
Yeah, I
what
did.
was your
I
year?
did do them. I did every race that they
You
had on
ran
the
every
calendar.
race on the
Yeah,
calendar.
yeah, because I got into loving race now because I felt better at doing it. I didn't think you was gonna feel better because it was so hard at first. But it was really good. I mean, it's like a high. No, I said, "Gee, it makes you feel good."
would you consider yourself sort of being like semi-addicted to running at that
Yeah,
the
I'm
peak?
addicted now. I know, you know, if I lived to 100, I would still be able to do May 24th. But I said one year I want to be the oldest woman running 24th of May.
Awesome.
Probably the one that's done it the most. But I know Midge Oliver's done it the most. I think she's did like 43, 44 times.
Right. We
And
also had a chance to talk to George Stearns. I know
oh
he's like
yes, that's right.
been
See, George has the
consecutive.
man's title.
Well, he certainly has consecutively. I think I want to say
Yeah.
45. When my colleague had a chance to speak with him in that regards. So you're really in amongst the I would say the elite of participants as far as
Yeah.
May 24th is concerned. So did you see yourself as a competitor or what, a recreational runner?
Not really a competitor, recreational, because if I'm competing now, I can't sleep right. It's on my mind, you know. I got to be out there hoping that nothing goes wrong, like a muscle spasm or, you know,
Sure.
my breathing goes out of whack, you know, or I pass out.
So to
Yeah,
take
I
pressure
don't like
off.
to do that. I like pressure off, you know. I'm more recreational. That's why I love it. Because if I'm
Interesting.
competing now, I know before I was like competing in my categories, you know,
Right.
and I know I could, then I would run hard. But
Right.
it's hard. I got to give it to these front runners, boy. It's not easy. I know how they do it.
But you
it's
do it
hard
because
pounding on the roads like that.
40 years this year participating, and then you said you ran almost every race on the racing
Oh, I
calendar.
did. Yeah. I didn't miss
That's
a
every,
race.
and sometimes it's every week.
Yeah. 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 And sometimes
That's a
it'd be like,
recreational runner.
yeah,
That's-
sometimes it'd be like close to a marathon because remember I used to do marathons too.
Okay, yeah, tell us about that. So we know May 24th, the course itself is a challenging course to
Yeah.
most. So where else have you run, Edwina? What
Well,
other?
I did the here. Well, 1997 was my first marathon here.
Okay,
And
awesome.
yeah, and the same
The
year,
International Race Weekend. International
yeah,
Race
national,
Weekend.
yes. And
Okay.
I think it was Cal and I that started the
Cal who? Who's Cal?
Cal Steed. Cal
Okay,
Steed and I were the
yes.
only two that did the whole 3 for the January.
Yes. Oh, the Triangular
Before it
Challenge.
became the Bermuda Triangle.
Yes.
We were the only 3 before it became
Yes.
that. Yeah.
I remember that. In fact, we coined
Yes.
at Cal Superman as a result
Yeah,
of doing
Superman, I call it.
unofficially doing the
And
Triangular
he's
Challenge.
still running well. And then you had to qualify for the Front Street Mile.
Yes.
So as I got older now, you know, my run is slower. So I couldn't qualify for that anymore. So then they brought in the Bermuda Triangle, and then you didn't have to qualify for the Front Street Mile.
Right. So tell us, you were just sharing about your experience running abroad and doing marathons. So where have you been? Where's your running taken you? What countries?
Yeah, I've done New York 3 times.
Really?
Yeah,
Well done.
yeah, because that same year, 97, I did New York. And I did it the same year of the towers when they blew up. Yeah.
Okay.
I did that in
Okay.
November. I was so scared of that one because they were saying that the bridges, they was going to blow up the bridges. So every time we came to a bridge, I would run real fast. But it was
Right.
safe. You know, the volunteers kept us safe. So
Right.
that was fun.
So
I
New
did 3 in
York,
New York.
you've
I
run where
did
else?
2 in Washington, D.C. Marine Corps Marathon. I
Awesome.
did
Heard
2
about
there,
that.
and I did 2 in Chicago, Windy City
Yes.
Marathon. Yeah, I did 1 in Paris. Paris was a fast one. Oh my God, I broke my record because I had to run with everybody else so I won't get lost.
And this has all been a recreational runner.
Yeah. I said, I can't get lost out here. I got to keep up with everybody. It's amazing, you know, it's a mind thing. Your mind controls your body. And it's
Interesting.
surprising, you know, sometimes I surprise myself.
So I mean, I'm just so excited because I never knew. Obviously, you traveled abroad in terms of doing marathons. I knew
Yeah.
you was a regular participant with 24 for May.
Oh, no.
And
I went overseas. I always represent Bermuda because I always wear Bermuda outfits. I remember Chicago one, it was 80 degrees and they was thinking about canceling that race because I know one person died. But they still
Sure.
had it. But, you know, they was coming. They have volunteers with blowhorns saying that, you know, you should be walking and not running the race because every sidewalk you see was people sprung out, you know, couldn't do it.
yeah, I guess
And
they had
because
an
I had Bermuda
unseasonal
on
heat
my
wave.
shirt, yeah,
I'm
because
sorry.
I had Bermuda on my shirt, you know,
Yes.
people were saying to me, oh, I know you're going to make it because you're from Bermuda and Bermuda's hot. So I know you'll make it. But it was scary because I ran for 20 miles, but the last 6 I wore because it started to scare me. See all these people passing out.
Sure.
Yeah, it was serious.
Sure.
It was 80 degrees.
But at least for you, like you said, you genetically
Yeah,
the
I
heat
could
and
handle the
humidity
heat. Yeah, no
didn't bother
problem.
you.
Yeah, it didn't bother
So a
me.
recreational runner, Edwina Arorash, running takes you all over the globe now.
It takes all of the glare. And I even did Las Vegas. I did half. I didn't do the full marathon. I did the half. That was really nice. I like Las Vegas one.
When you first started out, because you mentioned your author Lambert motivating you from young to want to run May 24th. Did you envision yourself running 24th for May year after year and then running double the distance with full marathons outside of Bermuda? Did you envision that?
No,
Was
I
that
didn't.
in your
I
psyche?
did not. I did not. I did not. And I think what kept me going was because, you know, the running club had races overseas as well. And I
You
think
said-
that's what got me started.
You said
Yeah.
you said Swan's Running Club. So you've
Yeah,
been a
Swans
member of
Running
Swan's.
Club. And I think Mac had the New York Marathon. Yeah, and I think that's what got me started. And I said, oh,
So-
this is really nice. First time running overseas to run with so many runners. You never alone. You're never by yourself.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's
So
an experience.
between the two clubs, Mac and Swan's Running Club, that kind of fraternity of runners kind of motivated you and
Yeah, it sure did.
kind of you kind of took you know you participated in events and races where you probably would have never done so had you just kind of kept
I
to yourself.
wouldn't have thought about running overseas. Yeah, because I was always
Wow.
with a group running overseas. It was really nice.
Right.
Yeah.
So as far as 24th of May is concerned, what do you still have any unattained goals as far as again, this is your 40th participation this year.
hmm
Do you want to, how many more 24th of May you want to be healthy enough to run? What's your goal?
Well, as I would say, my goal is as long as my body is healthy and it can do it, you know, because I try to prepare my body for when I get older. You know,
Yes.
a lot of people say, you know, they want to give up running because it messes up their knees. And I'm saying it probably would, you know, if they're pounding the pavement really heavy. So I don't pound the pavement heavy. I pound it really lightly. So it's less impact on my knees. Yeah. And I
So
sort
you-
of like lift myself up when I'm running. So
Right.
it'd be
So-
less
so-
amount of weight on the knees.
So have you been blessed with not having many running injuries of your career? Can I say that? Have you had many injuries, running injuries?
Well, I had slight injuries and I just keep running. I run through the injuries.
Interesting.
Not really serious, but I did have like an operation on my knee because it was really hurting me bad. But they said when they went into it, it wasn't as bad as they thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Yeah, and they said I could still run. You know, I
Right.
always, you know, have checkups with the doctors to make sure, you know, that I could still continue to run. And they said, yeah, I can
Right.
still run.
Awesome.
It's because I don't really put force on my knees when I'm running. I run it real light, so I don't
Okay.
put that pressure on the knees all the time.
So your
And I do
technique,
exercises for my knees as well.
right.
Like lunges and squats and stuff like that.
Yes.
To help
So
you.
So your running form has definitely aided with you having longevity
Yes,
in
yes.
terms of running.
Yeah, the running form goes a long way, you
Yeah.
know.
And you've trained mostly on the road, mostly road
Yeah,
training all
mostly
your
on the
life.
road. I don't like to train on the beach because it's so strenuous, you know, twisting my ankles this way and that way, and full of sand. That's a mess. No, I'd rather run on the road. And sometimes I do the trails. The
Right,
trails are
awesome.
pretty good, but
Yeah.
I can't handle the beach. That's probably
Well,
why I can't do heels, because you know
right.
I don't do anything strenuous. I said I want my body to be around for a long time.
Hey, nothing wrong. I tell you,
Yeah.
Edwina, we're certainly delighted. Our time is running short in terms of as far as the interview is concerned. Certainly the public have certainly learned a lot more about you. I've learned a lot more about you in terms of your relatives were significant as far as motivating you to start the sport.
Yeah.
As we close, in just maybe 30 seconds, we only have about 30 seconds. Just want to ask you this final question. As far as other young comedians, whether it's young men or women, what would you, in terms of running, what would you say to them as far as if they want to be a recreational runner themselves? Any advice, any parting words?
Well, with running, you know, you really have to love the sport. Yeah. At first I got into it. I didn't like it because I didn't think you could get better. But you do get better, and then you really love the sport. So I think if they want to go out there and do it, they should because it's good for your health. You know, you can live longer. Yeah, and plus you can eat whatever you want to eat because you burn it off. I'm not on no special diet. I can eat whatever I want.
I like that. I like that. Well,
And you
hey,
don't put any weight on because you run it off.
well, we're gonna leave it at that right there. Again, Edwina Arorash, thank you for your time, and
You're
certainly
very
look forward to
welcome.
seeing you again in the future. And all the best to you this upcoming May 24th.
Thanks, and
Have a
I'll
good
be out there.
Have a good evening, folks.
Thank you. You too.